Hello, welcome to episode 139 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to take all of the various issues that life throws our way and we sit them in front of a TV and we put on some trash reality show that's going to addict them until it ends. And it never ends, Steven. It's a cycle that just continues forever. They're like, hey, each episode lasts for an hour long and there are 13 episodes, but there are several seasons and they're all the same. And you're going to watch every single
And like 20 minutes of every episode is the 5-minute before cap and recap after the commercial break.
Literally, like, it's like the most trashy, heartbreaking like Dragon Ball Z power up in the beginning of everyone. Like, will they break up? I don't like that.
Last time on Love is Blind,
So Love is Blind. I mean, dude, here's the thing. Let's get into this. I'll get into Love is Blind in a second, but that's what inspired that little intro. But every week, Stevie Walker and I get together and we do our best to make things and avoid all of our problems or solve them to the best of our ability. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural action comedy book called Deathless. We're on issue 2 and it's going pretty well. Steven, how'd you do this week? What did you want to do?
Still no 2 pages, but I got that page that I sent you like done basically, and it was pretty epic. And I have the next 2 or 3 basically roughed. Yeah, I call them super thumbnails because they're drawn on like 6x8 paper.
I love it so much, dude. Like one of my favorite things to do, like aside from like, I love making thumbnails. Whenever we draw books, I make my own thumbnails that I'm like, I'm never gonna show Steven these because I want you to come up with whatever fun stuff unless you needed it, but you don't, But that's what I do when I write. It helps just the process anyway, But like I remember one of my favorite things that I did while making books together is like when we made Scavengers, I literally took like a 50-cent like crap comic and I just like taped haphazardly like taped blank pieces of paper in it and just did all of my thumbnails in regular size comic book, like on comic book paper, and it felt like, oh, I have a book. And then like recently I started doing that for Deathless. I started doing on index cards so I can write notes on one side and draw on the other side, and it's so cool because now I have these little comic books and I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I saw yours and I was like, oh, this is like a step above what I'm doing, but it's like it's so cool just having that tangible like
and like you can see it sequentially so you can turn the page, and then also like I'm finding that the fluidity of like a regular pencil is so much better for roughing, because roughing digitally is hard because and it's not digital's fault. You can easily rough as well as you do on paper.
No, you throw those robots under the bus. Screw them. They're trying to take our jobs, Steven.
But like it's like you get lost in its capabilities while you're roughing, and it's like, why are you drawing this good for a rough? Now the character's too stiff.
You end up like zooming in. It's the same concept. Like when you're writing, it's when you have the rewriting brain while you're getting through your first draft and you get stuck on a single sentence and you're like, no, put down some words. Like gotta get through it.
Just say stuff.
Just say all the stuff, get it done, and then you go back and you fix it with the ink, which is the second draft. You clean it up a little. But yeah, dude, I've done the same thing. But you got a lot done this week, and I mean, I'll show what I can. Like, I'll try to like tease some of it. I'll snip some things to, but dude, these pages are looking so good. Like, it's looking better and better and better. And it's, I feel like you said it recently in like our private chat where it's like, we're working toward this barreled issue where it's going to, he's the most, I think, iconic character we have. He's definitely
people love and talk about him, and he's literally only been in like 2 pages of the series so far.
But, I mean, we teased him. We teased him pretty well in the very first issue, and now he's gonna make a comeback pretty soon. People are gonna get to see him, not in issue 2, but issue 3 he might show up. So it's getting cool. But what's great is like, dude, your art is like exponentially grown so much that now I'm like, man, this book is going to look legit. Like, it's going to look it's going to be intense. I just can't wait to get there. Let's just more good things about you, Steven. All of your work has been good. Everything's been great. You totally succeeded this week. Anyway, next topic.
I'm carrying both of us this week, guys. I succeeded so much that Anthony succeeded too. Okay,
that's right. I too succeeded this week, dude. So this week, Atlas and I took off. I literally was off of work like Thursday and Friday and Monday and Tuesday. Like, we've been sick for like this whole like last half of last week and this week, and it has sucked. I've been like, I haven't been like bedridden sick. And I think that's one of the most annoying things that happens when you get sick sometimes is where it's like, I feel okay, but my head does not feel okay. Like
Yeah,
it's this.
I'm off, so therefore, like doing anything feels like laborious
Oh,
as hell.
dude, I like I had I've just had this really killer headache for like 6 days, just like a migraine, just killing me. And it sucked. It's just been the worst. And like I have this little tickle I'm now getting over it, but like I feel like I was losing my voice. I had this like weird inconsistent cough that was like similar to allergies where it's really heavy in the morning and really heavy at night, but like during the day I'm like, oh, it's almost gone. It's practically non-existent. But anyway, it was really bad, and it was giving me this terrible like sinus headache, and it was killing me. And I was trying to get some coloring done, but mostly I was just like relaxing and hanging out
Mhm.
and watching Love Is Blind. Steven, Steven. Okay, now if no for anyone who knows anything about me, I've never been big on reality shows, and especially shows that like feel like it's poorly haphazardly scripted reality shows where I'm just like, well, I don't know about this. Like there's a lot of like puppeteering going on in this, and I don't appreciate it. You know, like I like documentaries, I like seeing like slice of life things. Some of that stuff, I'm like, I don't really want to get through this. However, I do have a history of enjoying things that I'm allowed to talk about with other people in a fun way. Like Steven, Tina, and I used to get together and we watched Daisy of Love together.
Which is probably top tier, like best reality show ever made, if I'm honest.
It's so good, bad.
There,
Like
there
it's
are so many like quote. Imagine like having quotable lines from reality TV,
oh,
like this, that. Got it. I think it's on Prime, Amazon Prime.
is it? Oh my
I
god!
think so. And you can literally just watch the recap episode of it. Like there's like a final episode where
just
you can just
recap
watch
everything.
that. And it's got the best clips in it, so you don't even have to watch the whole show if you don't want to. Although I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're interested and if you have time for some trash
Garbage, yeah,
yeah,
for some true
absolute garbage.
garbage.
So like, but that's what like so some of my time I was talking to my crush and she mentioned that she watched that show with her daughter and I was just like, I am literally in between shows. I finished a show I was watching. I don't have anything else to like binge right now. You know, I was like, you know what? I'll just put it on. I don't care. I'm just sitting here anyway talking to you. So I put it on. And Steven, I have like I have just so many thoughts about this freaking show. It's so have you seen any of that show?
Is it the one that has what's his name? The really douchey guy. I mean,
Yes,
that's
yes, it is.
but
It's that.
what? Yeah, he's like blonde or something. I don't know, but he has like that girl that has the same name as him, and like they're like really flirtatious at first, and then, but he's a prick throughout. Consistent. Yeah, no, that show's great.
I just think it's
Not
funny.
great,
I was gonna
but
agree with
great.
you no matter what. As soon as you said there's a
The
douchey
douchey
guy,
guy, because it's like 99% of the guys on
really is.
all of them, even
But
the
like,
host.
but Steven, I
Nick
started watching this
Duche.
show. I started watching this show, and I'll tell you right now. I started the first episode, and I got like 40 minutes into it. And I was like, why is this still going? And then I was like, oh, it's an hour long. And I looked, I was like, there are 13 of these? Why? You know? So I immediately put it on like 1.5 speed and I watched the rest of it at 1.5. I would have gone 2 if they would have let me. Netflix needs to like up their game. Not
Up it. I want to
I
watch. I want to watch Alvin and the Chipmunks. Love is Blind.
Yes, who doesn't? Like I will be on record saying that would improve every reality show just immensely. Like if you were like put it on, are you kidding me? It's the best. But dude, that show is bonkers. They're like the whole concept for those of you who might not have seen the show is they take these people and they put them in a place where it's like there are men on one side, women on the other side, and they can meet every day with a wall between them so they can speak to each other and hear each other's voices and have conversations to whatever length they'd like, but they can't see each other, right? And as these conversations progress, the like couples start saying like, I really only want to talk to Dave, or I really only want to talk to, like Janet or whatever. And then like as the days keep going, they dwindle down to like the main couples where they're like, oh yeah, these people like, these two people like talking and these two people like talking. And eventually they have the opportunity to meet if they plan on proposing marriage. They're like, okay,
Yeah, jump the gun.
you spent 4 weeks with this person in this room with this wall between you. If you will marry them, you can meet them. And they're like, yeah, I got this. Why not? That's definitely a thing I'm gonna do.
We're bringing back old school marriage vows.
Oh, exactly. Like it's so crazy, dude. And like, but I watched all 13 episodes of this freaking thing, and I swear, Steven, like I have to stop talking about it, but it was just like I don't I don't understand. I understand the draw of like joking about it and stuff after, but like it drives me crazy. These people drive me crazy. Like everything that people were saying as I was watching it, like every time someone would say something, every character, like every person on the show was just like, you're a bad person who does bad things and you shouldn't, you need to marry
you
each
just
other.
exist in the
No one
bad.
else has to deal with you. Please, like tear down that wall and glue these people together, like all of them in one big like mass of
Love is blind centipede.
Oh, Love is Blind Centipede is what we need. Steven, that would be a better show. What if they were like, okay, go meet each other, and then as they do that, Doctor from the Human Centipede's just in there, like, it's time. You're about to join. You're gonna join forces in the weirdest way. You're gonna be a butterfly.
Should I eat the cuttlefish?
I was thinking though, like, it would be so funny if they randomly put in like a celebrity, or if Polly Shore was in there, like, it's just like it's Love is Blind, but like the Weasel edition, where it's like, which one of us is talking to Polly Shore? But Steven, here's the thing: everyone has to do a Polly Shore impression the whole time. so as they're getting to know each other and truly, sincerely falling in love with some of these people, they're all going, so what's your favorite movie, buddy?
When you go to a gas station, do you Weasel the juice?
But I'm just saying, like the Weasel of Love would be a huge show, and I would watch.
We should go to Europe and look at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I know it's Chisa, but it's gotta be relative to a date. People, you're not taking a lady to a cheese tower.
It's
or
true.
Are you?
Are you? I would. I mean, come on.
I would.
Like, yeah, dude. So I don't know. So I was watching that show, and I've been going through a lot. Like I've most of my interactions in the world, especially when I'm sick, have been happening online though, but like I feel like the internet's been such a mess lately. And then like yesterday there was the whole like Met Gala thing, and I can't make myself care about rich people, so it's really hard.
Did Jason Derulo really fall down the stairs, or was that just like an AI generated image?
I have no idea,
because I can't tell anymore. We're at that future now. We're like
here's the thing. I don't care. I don't look up. I never look this stuff up, and I try to avoid it. So yesterday I literally didn't go on Twitter. I was just hanging out on Instagram and like watching stuff. Like so much so that I made a joke about the Met Gala, and someone was like, "Oh, like Jared Leto as a cat, or Jared Leto and his cat thing," and I was like, was he wearing a giant cat suit? Like, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's just a nesting doll of cat meat. Like, it's so weird. What the hell? I don't know, dude. I don't know. But I was avoiding it, and then like I got online today, and I saw your post about Metroid, and I was just like, oh, Steven, what are you doing? So for those of you who don't know, Steven, will you explain what you've been doing to people today?
It's a very standard video game troll. In fact, you may have even seen like a meme format where they show like Patrick Stewart, and it's like Gandalf, blah, 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 Harry Potter, and like lists everything but Star Trek. So basically today, like I believe some of my tweets, let's see, it actually started getting a lot of notifications. Let's see. Oh, 8 more. That's not too. So my first tweet was, where are you at? There it is. Does Metroid have a cannon mounted to his arm, or does he hold it with his hand?
Okay.
And it's a good tweet because the ratio is 17 comments to 15 likes. I mean, that's just fire right there. Followed by The Legend of Zelda has to be one of the best video game titles ever. With every sword swing, every dungeon defeated, and every bottle found, you are writing his legend. Not to mention Zelda has the coolest sword and green tunic combo ever.
Yeah.
9 to 13. Yeah. Yep. And then I just posted a GIF of Vaporeon that said your thoughts on Vaporeon, because if you know, you know. And that's all I'm going to say about Vaporeon. And then, oh yes, my favorite one, but you know what? No one that's close enough to me ever comments, because I don't like being mean. But there's this classic old school troll that we used to drop in World of Warcraft Barons chat years ago. Actually, I think it might have even been in Dalaran, but it's, why they call it an Xbox 360? It's because when you see one, you do a 360 and walk away. And all you do is wait for someone to say, that's a 180. And then your response is, I skateboard, bro. I know what a 360 is. And that's it. That's the whole joke. But every time I post it, it's always some rando on the internet. I'm like, man, I want this person's first interaction with me to be like me being like a douche. Cause this is a silly joke, but
Yeah.
you're going to think I'm like this doucher for no reason. But yes,
I know.
so I've been doing a little light trolling today. It's always fun. The video game ones are always fun because people are so passionate about it. Like, I mean, I literally have Samus on the back of my iPhone. I love Metroid. Samus is one of the greatest. Like, she's awesome. But it's really funny to type he there, and it's also really funny to call Link Zelda. You know,
it's
I was
so
trying
funny.
to think of
It's like sometimes like little, and actually I learned recently that that's what shit posting is. I always, when I saw the term shit posting, I always just thought it was like random, like any tweet that you don't care about, or like any thought that you're just like, this doesn't matter, like I'm just shit posting. It's just a stupid thing, like kind of shower jokes and that kind of stuff. Shit posting. No, it's so like, I guess like legitimately, traditionally, it is intentionally posting something controversial that you know is controversial and silly, so that's that's pretty funny.
just drumming it up, drumming up some controversy.
And it works because people are just so funny. Like it'd be like the internet is just so hard to navigate these days because people are so used to dealing with actual monsters all day. So when they see anything at all, like we're all just on edge where it's like that fight or flight comes in. You're like, I'm gonna get this one. Like, no, he's just joking or just being hyperbolic or just saying, I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, read the room a little, try your best. It's come on. It happens to me all the time, dude. I feel like I have to explain my tweets.
Dude, you have to explain tweets that are like so obviously a joke.
Yeah.
And it's just it's mind-blowing. Like, even if it wasn't a joke,
yeah,
why is this happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, people love to like find their pitchforks and torches.
Well, that's why I like posting those types of jokes too, is because it's like you basically find the elitists that want to like correct somebody, and that's those are the funniest people to mess with because they think they're better than you. And then,
I mean,
lo and behold, you've fallen for my Yu-Gi-Oh trap card.
Yep. Yeah. It's someone who's just exactly, but it's someone who thinks they're above you. So it's clearly by definition punching up, it's like, oh, well, you think you're better than me and I'm making fun of you. Ha, like take that. But yeah, dude, it's crazy that I haven't been like because of like stuff like the Met Gala and like a lot of like the nonsense. I haven't really been as active on Twitter lately, and it's kind of like I feel it in my like lack of getting attention, like generally, like I feel it. Yeah, but it's weird, and then like I see the analytics and stuff. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna end up back in the void if I don't start like tweeting again, and which is weird to like fight with and be like, oh, I have to like eat these funny thoughts, Twitter God, like
he's like, nom nom, this will do for now.
Yeah, and sometimes it works, and it definitely is like a numbers game. But I've been spending most of my time like that's another thing though, Steven, is like instead of looking for like those little bursts of like dopamine from the strangers for saying fun things, I've been like communicating.
You've been getting some black tar dopamine, so yeah, I mean,
black tar dopamine. Just pure Colombian dopamine is what I'm getting, Steven. That's the good stuff.
Walter White cut this dopamine for you specifically.
Absolutely, yeah. So Heisenberg himself is just like dopamine, pure, straight crystal.
You dye your dopamine. My dopamine looks like this after I'm done with it.
But so I've been talking to this person who's a crush, who Steven, I realized because she told me, just shaming me endlessly. No, she didn't. She was very sweet about it. But I asked her, I was just like, do you know about how long we've been kind of doing this thing that we're doing? Where it's like, we've been talking every day for as long as I can remember. It's been a while now. So I was just like, do you remember? And she's like, as a matter of fact, I do, and she's like, here's the date. And I was like, oh man, but apparently
you're me. And this is stuff I would do.
Yes. And that's the thing. That's the reason I ask, is because I feel I like traditionally in a, or like historically, I should say, like in relationships, I've always kind of had like, there's always been like sort of a courtship period, which is important. But for some reason, I never like consider the date until I'm like, oh wait, this is an official thing, and then that's when the date becomes important, when it's like, oh, now we're two people who are in, like, this is when we became important to one another. You kind of like put a pin in that moment where there is a connection, or like when it's like an official connection. And like because the other dates start to like fade away over time. It's like, oh, the first time like met for first kiss or what, whatever it may be. But like, there's that one thing. But this, I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know how any of this works because it's a long distance situation. I've never been one to do this sort of thing before. So I'm just like, okay, well, how long have we been talking? When did this become a thing? How did this work? What is this? Like, how did, like, so I asked, and she told me, and it's been over a month now, which is, yeah.
Dang. It's May. So that math
Yeah.
easily checks,
Yeah, it's been a month. And it's so crazy. But so I mean, that's where I've been spending a lot of like my silly, energy on that and having those conversations and getting to know her. And it's been really cool. I mean, it's frustrating because there's the distance and such, but it's really cool. But Steven, we also have been watching movies together, so I get to watch like old horror movies and like silly movies and like things I've never seen. I watched Scream 6 yesterday.
How is it? I haven't watched it yet. I probably won't watch it either.
I only want to say one thing about it, and it's not a spoiler. Like no spoilers. I wouldn't do that to anyone. I just want to say one quick thing. It's like for anyone who watches Scream 6, right? Scream 6 takes place in New York, right? Which is cool. It's neat. Take it out of like the suburbs, you put it in this big city, like anything could happen. It's crazy. Things are happening in public. It's just like, this is like interesting and shocking and new. It's fresh. But Steven, it takes place on Halloween, okay? It takes place on Halloween. Now here's the thing. Steven, if you and I, we're being chased by someone who's like, I'm gonna stab you, and I'm like, I don't want to get stabbed, neither does he, and we're like, don't stab us, and he's like, I'm gonna. You know what we're gonna do if it's Halloween? We're gonna wear masks. We're gonna dress up.
We're gonna change.
We're gonna change our clothes. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Stephen King rules. Like, no, I'm gonna dress up. We might dress up as each other and accidentally.
Oh, dude, that's exactly where my brain went. Like, we were dressed up as Jay and Silent Bob, and I was obviously already Silent Bob, and we just flipped that costume.
Flip the costume.
He's just like, wait a second.
Are you
not them?
It's not them at all. I can tell. This is a very much a Clark Kent Superman situation where we just survived the horror movie by just putting on the dumbest costume of each other. But I watched this movie and I was just like, at any point, now there are two things at any point that these characters could easily do. One, leave. Drive out of the city, just drive away. They try to like pin their feet to the city by saying like, you can't, you're people of interest in this case. Now let me tell you a little something. If anyone looked at me and said, don't leave, you're a person of interest, I'm like, yeah, because someone's gonna murder me, I'm gonna leave, and good luck. If you stop me, you're gonna put me in jail. I'm not gonna get murdered by those guys. I'm gonna make some weird friends real fast.
Like, yep. I'm gonna join every gang.
Oh, almost all the gangs. Like, I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna get tattoos. I'm gonna have weird. I'm gonna
teach them how to crumble up ramen noodles over there. They're already.
I'm gonna walk out of that place with a new cult. They're all gonna be like, "We love that guy. He brought us together, just like a human centipede of love." It's so, but Steven, I would with like beyond a shadow of a doubt drive away. First of all, like if you know someone's after you, right? You either go to a place where they just can't get you, right? Like you got like Home Alone 2 it. Go to like a fancy resort, hang out on like floor 23 in the fancy place. Let them have to go up the elevator in the crisp, clean, beautiful place and fight Tim Curry or whatever. Like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Get out of here. Or you wear costumes, wear any costume and be like, yo, can you find me? No. And if they do find you, you know what that tells you? It's one of your friends. And like, you narrow it down a little bit. Like, come on.
Dude, he uses a knife. Put some chainmail on. Like,
okay.
Unless he slits your throat, you're good. Wear a chainmail turtleneck.
There are guns involved in the movie a little bit, like to not spoil anything. There are not that like Ghostface walks around with a gun, although like, come on, do it.
Become the real Ghostface killer, you know?
but dude, like, okay, there's like that's another thing about the Scream movies in general. Is like, why aren't they all carried? Like, if it's your first time experiencing the Scream, if it's the first time you're ever just like, oh, there's a killer, there's a stabber out there. Maybe you don't have access to a gun. Maybe you don't have a gun that quick. Maybe you don't live in America. Oh, wait, they all do. Get a gun. You can get it immediately. You can go to your mailbox and be like, mailbox, give me a gun. It appears magically from some Keanu Reeves like fantasy. I
like how you went to John Wick and like me mentally, I'm like, man, I would dress up as Tybalt and do that awesome knee leg slide that John Leguizamo did and kiss my gun before I killed Ghostface.
It'd be amazing. I literally in my brain for some reason totally like like meshed up. I made a mix for anyone who was just listening. My brain like so immediately mixed the lake house and John Wick together. I was just like, I have a mailbox that's magic and can send me stuff like guns. I was like these are the best movies to put together. Like, can you imagine if Sandra Bullock? Was it Sandra Bullock in that movie? Wait, who was
Yes,
it?
the lake
Was it
house it
okay?
was.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves
So
and
Sandra Bullock's writing a note, and she's just like, "What do you like? What do you like to do?" And he's like, I'm really good. I'm really good at hitting the target in a sexy way and a non-sexy way." Wait, what? Like, it's just like he is the assassin. It is John Wick, Lake House Edition. Give me that bullet. Like, she's putting bullets in the mailbox so he has extra to save. Just, but anyway, Steven.
But that's also another option, real quick, though.
Okay.
I just want to put out there.
Yeah.
Is if you're being pursued by the Ghostface killer, what you do is you rob John Wick of all of his puppies and wear it as armor, and then every puppy that dies is just a guaranteed murder sentence from John Wick.
100%.
And if anyone can take out Ghostface, it's John Wick.
So true. Dude, not to mention, like, and this also not a spoiler, in the movie, in Scream 6, there are multiple people wearing the Ghostface mask in the subway. And like,
so you just become one too. I mean,
yes. Okay. No, here's the thing. Like, there are multiple people doing it. If you also do it, now, there was only one Scream movie where there was one killer, right? So they're just like, in almost every situation, they're not going to stab other Ghostface because they don't want to kill their friends. You know, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to get this one. And then they have to do a whole, like, Where's Waldo situation.
I'm feeling woozy over here, man.
But just like, it's so good. There's so many things about Scream 6 I was just like, I really liked it. I really liked a lot of it. It was fun. I really enjoyed, like, I really liked watching it all together. Like, there were a lot of fun moments in it. There was so much in it, though. I was just like, this should not be a thing. Like, this should not, I can't, I like, the main gripe I have with it, I can't say because it would spoil it, and I wouldn't do that to anyone. But like, some of it is very irritating. It's fun though. But I don't know, dude. So it's like, I really like the movie, and I really love watching the movies, you know, with my crush, and I'm gonna keep doing that. But it's like stuff drove me crazy about it. But Steven, you and I have a lot of questions to answer, so I feel like we should.
We should probably just plow through those.
Let's plow through these. Let's do like okay, here we have a new segment that we've been doing that's one of people's favorite segments lately, Steven. So let's do it. It's called Questions from the Colony. Do we have a song for this one?
We've had a song, man, since day one. It's Questions of the Colony, and everybody says stuff, and we agree because it's questions from the colony. Dun, 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 dun. I like how it has an In the Air Tonight drum fill at the end of it, by the
way. it's very specific. It's so, I can feel these questions on Twitter tonight. Oh,
hold on.
Okay, so that's like, your song brings tears to my eyes, Steven. Okay, so we have questions from the colony. For those of you who don't know, you can check us out on Twitter at, We Have Issues Pod. You can check out Steven at Stevie Wildcard, and go to me at Anthony Lafusi. Ask any question you want at any time, and we will find a way to get on the show. Sometimes, often, I try to post these right before, like an hour or two before we film. We'll get some questions out there, and then we'll just answer them for you. So let's run through some of these. Some of them, and I love, Steven, what I love the most about this is we have a spectrum of questions here. Like, we always seem to get like really sincere questions and really silly questions, and I just love it. I love it. I feel like it's just like, it's totally like what we do here, and I freaking love it. So first one, let's start off kind of strong. This is like a sincere question. I'm gonna, and like, I read this and I was like, oh man, we got this. George Efta 2 asks, how do you know when to give up on your dreams?
I guess you had to define what giving up on your dreams actually is, right? Like, I guess if you define it as monetary success or something like that, I guess you can give up on that portion of the dream, right? But I mean, especially if it's art related, I feel like you can always live a portion of your dream, right? I mean, like,
yeah. So what I was thinking when I first saw this, I was just like, oh man. First of all, my answer is never give up on your dreams. Now, here's the thing. I think that some people define, like, what you're saying basically is, I think some people define their dream as being a specific thing, like, the American dream where you have this house and this, two kids and a spouse or whatever nonsense. But it's like, what are you really giving up on? Like, what's the thing you mean? What is the thing that you would be giving up? If it is creative, if it is drawing, are you going to give up the drawing, or are you going to give up the hope that the drawing facilitates this life for whatever reason? I think that if you recognize what your actual intention is and what you're trying to do through this thing that is your dream, because your dream, as much as we all want, I want to quit my job, I want to do all these, like I want to, I am very much in like with someone who lives 1,000 miles away right now. I'm just like, if you think I don't want with everything in me to have the funds, like the financial freedom to just like fly over there and be like, hey, look, I can see you anytime I want. I like, yeah, that's a big dream of mine right now, is to get to that point. However, as far as my like creative endeavors and the things that like I'm like doing this and writing the books and doing everything I can like creatively, that's the part that I'm like, I am, like living my dream as best I can. Like I'm doing all of the things to the best of my ability, and I'm enjoying it and finding little things to celebrate every chance I get, while we're doing this. So I would say, like, if it is sincerely, like, I would say, first of all, define your dream. What does that actually mean to you? And then as far as giving up on anything, I think you should give up on defining the success of whatever you're doing based upon your location, or like how you're doing in the moment, and just enjoy what little successes you can.
And it's kind of like life in general, right? I mean,
Of
like the
course,
journey's always going to be the best part.
yeah.
Even I'm sure even the successful people look fondly back at the moments where they're eating
Yes.
cup of noodles and trying to make their art work. I'm obviously relating this to artwork, because obviously my dream would be to be a comic book artist, and one of my various dreams is to work on one of the big two, just to have my name on it and then go immediately back to doing what we do. But like, yeah, I feel like that's abandoning your dream is probably never an option. I feel like there's always caveats and ways to describe what your dream actually is,
Yeah.
to continue to bring joy to yourself. Because I mean, what else are you outside of that?
Yeah, I think, like, and I know, like, of course there are people who like struggle more than we would, or like have different, very, a whole spectrum of issues that maybe we don't face. That being said, like, in a lot of cases, if not most cases, the like, if you can quit, then maybe you should be focusing on whatever like priority you couldn't quit. Like, what is the thing, like, because as far as we're concerned, I mean, we're like, we do this podcast essentially for free. Like, we do have a small, like a small, very fantastic, amazing, like, fan base now, like people who care about us. It's like, who's like support us on Patreon and do that sort of thing. But it doesn't pay our bills. It doesn't, like, we're not financially free or unburdened because of this thing we're doing. This still takes a lot of time and effort. And like, making the comic books is like, it's not a burden, but it takes up a huge, percentage of our daily energy, like what we have. So it's like you're expending a lot, but you have to figure out what you're gaining at the same time. And like, for us, the juice is worth the squeeze, and we continue to do it. And like, Stephen and I have been trying to make comic books forever, and we would keep doing this if no one read it. Like, we just want to finish our book, and we really appreciate it. And really, the dream is getting the book done, and hopefully there's the secondary dream of like the success that hopefully, or it could potentially come from that. And but it's just like, defining the thing as the success from others is probably the thing that you should be giving up on, really.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see. Okay, Steven, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I am amazed. I'm like, I am honored. We are both honored in this moment. We are both just like fantastically, just fortuitous in this moment to have the incredible, the incomparable, the wonderful, the most exquisite, perfect, fantastic Queen Anne Boleyn, our number one stan of all time, the person who shows up for us every episode and just
She
loves
is amazing.
our show,
Absolutely incredible.
shares everything. Like, it's incredible. The incredible Queen Anne Boleyn asks, who is Anthony's number one stan? Clearly, Steven, I'll let you answer that.
It's clearly Queen Anne Boleyn.
Right. I mean,
no,
yeah,
no question.
No question.
But I would say, outside of that, me.
Okay.
So back off, because we're fighting now. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So from our, like, one of our best friends, one of my favorite people, and I know your favorite people, Lee Newman, writer of Sissone. Read his book. It's incredible.
Great friend. Sent me an awesome ham. He's a very talented and wonderful human being.
He really is. So he asks, romance, marry, kill Godzilla, Mothra, and King Kong.
I'm clapping them ape cheeks.
Have to, right? I mean, it's the have to.
It's the closest thing that'll make sense.
I was thinking the same thing. I was okay. I'm gonna be honest here. Like, I'd probably marry Mothra because of the flying. Like
the flying, and wasn't Mothra really like the good
yeah,
I mean, moth that was like saving the day from Mechagodzilla?
That can like show you a whole new world and fly around with you. I love you, Godzilla, and you're fantastic. You would do a lot to help us out. But like,
I just imagine a whole new world. Whatever sound Mothra makes, the duet is just horrible.
What does the Mothra say?
And then I'll recruit Mothra and my recent side lover King Kong to help me take down Godzilla, because I don't even know if I can kill Godzilla.
No, and I feel like Godzilla is not going to take this rejection lightly. Like, it is going to be like Godzilla's going to come out and be like, listen, you didn't see my tail? It's pretty big. I thought you like big butts. I'm like, we all do. Everyone does. Like
he literally spews radioactive like magma. Like, it's just I mean,
it's unacceptable.
F marry kill, and I choose Godzilla, but can I? Can I kill him?
This is someone's multiple kinks. Like, I mean, Godzilla has the fire, the ice, like it's all like,
he's everything.
It's just not my thing.
The Superman of kaijus, really.
All right, let me see. One of our other best friends, producer Sean, says, your phone rings. It's Ghostface. But you don't answer because it's 2023. Who the hell answers actual phone calls? He should have just texted. Anyway, you know what he wants. You've waited your whole life for this. He texts, hello, Anthony. What's your favorite scary movie? All right, what's your favorite scary movie, Steven?
My favorite like scary movie?
That's what I'm thinking. So I read this and I was like, okay, well, it's different than asking horror movie, because like I consider like horror comedy horror, and like, but I don't consider it scary. You know, it's different.
Which Evil Dead movie? I'll tell you, the only movie that's ever truly like scared me,
the first one,
and with the door,
yeah,
perfectly timed door break. Like, 100%. I mean,
I was gonna say the same thing, honestly.
And like, you're a much bigger Evil Dead fan than me, but like, seeing that movie has it all in terms of like horror, scary, creepy, actiony, awesomey. Like, it's just, but that door sequence is the most legit jump scare ever made.
Yeah, it really is. I think like Evil Dead, as far as like techniques are concerned, like the first one is, so of course some of the makeup doesn't hold up very well, but creepiest movie there's ever been, I think. Like, if you let yourself get into that movie, it is creepy. Like those Deadites are scary. It's terrifying. Like that movie, the original Exorcist has some moments that like as a kid got me. And then other than that, it was like my scary for me, because, and the reason I'm even saying these is like it has nothing to do with like my favorite movie, but it's my favorite scary movie. But there are literally only like 3 movies I ever thought were scary, which is like some of The Exorcist. I thought the very beginning of it was scary when I was a very young kid, but that was, I mean, I don't
Child's Play for me, or Puppet Master creeped me out too.
Exactly, where it's like, but like now I'm like, it's like Poltergeist 2, where it's like he's like, you're all gonna die in there. Like when Kane is walking slowly toward that house.
Oh yeah, that is a creepy sequence.
It's just like, oh, this is scary. There's that, and then there's the Evil Dead, like the first Evil Dead. I default to Evil Dead 2 a lot because it has a lot of my favorite things, but it's not scary at all. It's like Evil Dead 2 is fun. It's
like when he decided to change the whole dynamic of the franchise.
He was like, oh, people saw the Three Stooges influence in Evil Dead and they liked it. Some people laughed at it a lot. I bet I can lean into this and also give Ash a chainsaw hand by the end. Oh yeah, let's do this. Like, that's amazing. So those are all our answers for that. All right, so Lost Between Worlds, Edwin, who's one of our best friends, asks, would you guys ever do a long running series, like say 25 issues or more? Or do you prefer keeping your series as short runs?
So as it stands right now, like Anthony and I's goal from the beginning has always kind of been this, like, it was like build slowly, right? Like play it again as a one shot. Let's get it done. Deathless is a little bit more ambiguous in terms of what we've done. Yeah. But yes, like our big goal is to, maybe by the time Deathless is finished, we're doing this. We're part-time at our jobs, or maybe we don't work at our jobs anymore because we do this. And then, yes, because like ideally, as long as it takes us to put out an issue, we don't want to do a long running series and keep people waiting so long. So
Yeah, that's
we'd want to be down to probably monthly, or at the very least bi-monthly, if we were ever going to push like an ongoing series.
yes.
Which, if I can, I mean, Edwin, you and Jeff Schiller, namely, are so good at pumping out these indie issues. Like, it's incredible. It's very impressive.
Yeah,
So
you
like,
guys are amazing.
you guys are definitely on the right path when it comes to, like, you are there, you got it. So like, but that's our personal goal, since we do everything in-house with the, you know, pages and writing and, you know, all of it, marketing, everything. So like, yeah, that's our goal. We would love to. I mean, we have even like kind of went back and forth about how we know Scavengers or the Absentees could easily be long running series. Scavengers more like 20.
Yeah.
Absentees could literally be a Walking Dead series. So like, we do have series that are capable of it. We just can't, we
Yeah.
don't see it
Oh,
viable, you know.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just it's hard right now to me. You know, with we only have so much time. You know, so, Stephen, what is that from your window? Is that what's happening?
Oh, yes, it is. Come to me.
Aura.
Coacula has shined his light upon me.
Okay, we have one more from this, and then I'm gonna do like a rapid fire thing with you real quick. So the last question we're gonna ask from Twitter is from Thimker, which is, Anthony, will you ever heal from extreme pain of broken love relationship and learn to trust again? No. I'm kidding.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I won't do that. No, like honestly, that's never really been a problem for me. I very much, once I get to, like, as I get to know someone like anyone else, like I'm willing to make like big leaps of faith. Like I moved in with my last girlfriend, like my previous girlfriend. We moved into her house, and like I'm willing to take those leaps of faith. It's not that I don't have trust in people. It's that I do have some like trauma stuff to heal from, and some things that like I still like let define moments every once in a while, but it's not something that's like a wall between us. I'm not love is blinding completely with people.
No, and I think you're very good at analyzing what you've been through, what you expect, like what you want going forward. You're just, I feel like with you, like, you're just able to see red flags a lot sooner. And like,
Yeah.
people call that as being picky, but like when you have children and when you have things, I mean, picky is not a bad thing at all. So
No,
like,
dude, and like I sincerely, a lot of like people like to give me trouble for saying like, oh, I don't really want a relationship or whatever. I'm not interested, or I'm not like pursuing that at the moment or whatever. Or they act like I'm being overly cynical, or thinking like, that love isn't real anymore because I've been hurt or whatever. It's not the case. It's just that like I've experienced these things, good and bad, and I'm just like, look, I'm trying to put all of my energy into this stuff. I'm trying my best to cure, cultivate and like facilitate this life that I want to live, where I think like I will eventually have this, relationship and love and all that stuff. And I was doing that for a long time, and like working on myself and doing what I can to work on this. And then like I wasn't looking for anything. And then like look what happens. I have, someone who's really amazing and like beautiful and cool, and just like who just stumbles into my life and it's just like, hey, I like you. And I'm like, yeah, do you though? And I'm like, and she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh man, oh god, oh boy, and it's like this is
oh god.
oh god. So it happens, and like I am open and receptive to it, and like yeah, I trust her. Like, yeah, I'm talking to this person that lives way too far away, but it's feels worth it, so I keep doing it. And we're gonna, we struggle through it just like anyone else, or just like anything else. You just walk whatever the path is, and we are gonna keep doing it and figuring it out as it reveals itself to us. And it's fine, it's fun and interesting, and it's a life to live. I don't feel as if I'm like neglecting anything or like keeping myself from anything because of my past traumas and like troubles and issues or anything like that. Like I don't know like to what extent I'm supposed to be. I don't know like how I'm not trusting people. That's interesting. I mean, obviously they this person saw something in my tweets and it's just like, you don't trust people for whatever, or like, or maybe the podcast, maybe I say something, but I don't know like what, where I've said like, I don't know, I don't blindly trust or completely distrust anyone based on nothing. Like I think I'm pretty open to experiences, and I try to just acknowledge like what's going on, and just observe and do what I can. So yeah, so I'm fine. Let's see. So we do have some questions though. Okay, so let's do this. Is going to be just rapid fire questions,
Oh,
Steven.
got it. Like
Okay.
just a yes or no answer, or not yes or no, but
Yeah, just like
descriptive answer.
yes, just as quick as.
Rapid fire questions from the colony.
All right. So let me snooze. Can I snooze this? Jeez. All right. Ready. So it's is cereal soup?
Yes.
Yeah. Um.
Crunchy soup.
Yeah. Of course. You have to remove one color from the world. What's it going to be?
I get rid of gold.
What is your most useless skill? Most useless skill.
Most
Oh, I know
used.
mine. I mean, it's not a skill. I got it. I know
What's your-
I know all of Goodwill Hunting's brothers.
That is a pretty useless skill, but go ahead and cite those bad boys for
And
me.
here's the thing. Here's the funniest, dumbest thing about it. First of all, it's Marky, Ricky, Danny, Terry, Mikey, Davey, Timmy, Tommy, Joey, Robbie, Johnny, and Brian.
How do you like them apples, people?
I do like them apples. Marky, Ricky, Danny, Terry, Mikey, Davey, Timmy, Tommy, Joey, Robbie, Johnny, and Brian. I got him. The funniest thing about that is Goodwill Hunting doesn't have brothers. He lies. It doesn't mean anything. I know nothing.
He knows nothing about his life except for the fact that he lies, and this is the lie he tells. I know his lie inside and out.
I don't know why. He could have said he has two. And I mean, I think he was like, I'm gonna be real impressive by saying these, like 13 Rudolph names or what, like these reindeer names of my fake, imaginary family. Like what? But what's your Steven most useless?
My most useless skill. Oh, it's not a skill. No, it's not. It's just me. It's just something I say.
What is it?
I'm just gonna call it my skill, and we're gonna move on. But
yes.
my greatest skill is that every time, without fail, if Tina mentions that it is remotely cold anywhere we are, I always immediately, without fail, say there must be some toros in the atmosphere. Yes. And it got a laugh from her the first time, and it's been, maybe a snort occasionally or a quick breath through the nostrils, but now it's just downright, oh God, he's saying it again. But yes, without fail, I never miss it. And if you're around me and you ever ask if it's cold in here, that's going to be my response.
No, as it should be.
The sunlight. You're lucky I'm not a vampire, guys, because
Steven, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
I'm for it as long as it's accompanied by pig.
So I'm for it, but I wouldn't choose it. That's how I feel.
Like, I would never go out of my way to order a pineapple pizza.
If someone orders pizza and they happen to get it with pineapple, I'm not going to complain. I don't really care. I'm going to eat the pizza. However, if they ask me what I want on my pizza, I'm never going to say pineapple. It's never. Yeah.
No, you're right.
That's how I feel about it. I'm like, I love pizza. It's not a disgusting flavor. It's a fun flavor sometimes. In fact, if someone ordered it and gave it to me, I'd be like, oh, I haven't had this in a while. I'd probably enjoy it, much like root beer,
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I don't usually get this for myself.
I'm not committed to drinking the Barks, but every now and then with a taco or a slice of pizza, it's fantastic.
And our last question I got was, who is your best your bestie, your best friend? Obviously my best friend, aside from Steven, clearly, is Rachel, my crush's daughter. Like she's been my best friend. She's been my best friend. Like it's a solid, sincere, like best friendship, which is hilarious, Steven. And I'll tell you right now, I will tell everyone in the colony that I've had so much trouble not knowing how to communicate this on Twitter because it's been cracking me up constantly. So my crush has a 16-year-old daughter who, by the way, is hilarious. Like one of these, like she's just really funny. And she's really like, when you meet people and they're like, oh, you have cool kids, you're like a cool person and your kid is cool, you did a good job, like she's one of those people where it's like, oh, she's a cool 16-year-old and she likes like fun movies and like she's very funny and stuff. However, Steven, she's hilarious. She takes my crush's phone and like takes pictures and like writes notes to me and stuff, and it always makes me laugh and it's so funny every single time, but I don't know how to communicate in a tweet. I'm talking to a 16-year-old. Like I don't know. Like there isn't a way to, because like it's weird. Like it's funny to be like, because here are the facts that I need to communicate in order for people to understand what the context is. I have this crush. She has a 16-year-old. The 16-year-old uses my crush's phone and account to talk to me sometimes with her mom there. Obviously, I'm not just talking to some random 16-year-old, so, but when it happens, it's always random, and it's just this thing where I'm just like, I'm in the middle of like, oh, so what are you doing today? Like, what's going on? How, and then like I'll get a picture from like a 16-year-old like girl, and like she's just like, what's going on? And so I start talking to her, and it's so funny. And also, Steven, I learned that kids don't do this as much anymore. They do this now. Or I'm sorry, I'm doing it wrong. They do this now.
Oh yeah, I know. That's how Chasey does it.
Yeah, they do this now, and I
They're
love
basically they're basically in a game.
that.
I mean,
This is my new gang symbol, and I'm all for it. No, I love it, but like it's so funny. It's so funny. But yeah, she's been my best friend lately, and it cracks me up every time. Okay, Steven, this episode's running long. Let's see. What do we do? Okay, Steven, every week we answer a bunch of questions, do a bunch of stuff, talk about what went wrong, what went right, and then we talk about what we're gonna do next. Steven, what are you doing this week?
so I have those 2 pages roughed, and my goal is to finally do 2 pages. It's been my goal every week, and I just want to fucking get 2 pages done in 1 week.
I feel
so
like
bad.
this is it. I feel like this is the week. I feel like this
is the week. They are crazy pages, but I feel like it's the week.
So Steven goes to the bender. Like Steven's
I'm
one
on
week
the
where he literally does
bend.
nothing.
It's a good. I mean, past weekend was my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend is Cambria's birthday, but her birthday party's at 3:45. So I have time on Saturday. I should have time on Friday. I should have time on Sunday. So I'm pushing.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. I can't wait. Like I'm going to finish flatting 1 page, which like it's time consuming and it's it's a whole thing, but I'm gonna color 1 page. I'm going to do it this week because I started one this week, but I got sick and it just freaking sucked. It just ruined everything.
I should have that other one to you too by the time you finish that. So.
Yeah, just I'll feel that on my back and maybe I'll work faster. But
that one's pretty clean though, so you'll be able to color that.
Dude, that one's so clean. Like the newest day, I can't wait. That one's gonna be pretty quick. Steven, where can the people find you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Stevie Wildcard, STEVIE Wildcard. Yeah, those are the spots you can find me. You can also find one half of us, both of us, our products on our website at wehaveissuespodcast.com. We actually do have plenty of copies of Play It Again, the Ostrich Colony scrapbook, and Deathless available. We have some stickers left. We have plenty of stuff going on over here. So feel free to go to the website. Anthony pumps me your address and you get your comics. So
that's right. Yeah. You can find me at Anthony Lafusi on Twitter, and make sure you just talk to the podcast at We Have Issues Pod on Twitter, and ask us any questions you want. Also, please, if you are not already subscribed, first of all, it'd be absurd if you made it this far and you're not subscribed. However, I love you anyway, and thank you so much for watching. But please hit the subscribe button. It really smash that button. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us for another week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little long with the questions, but I think it's always worth it. I love getting to know more of Steven's brain. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next time.
Boom!
Come on. That's like if you ever see Claudio the Chance of Meatballs, he makes this giant jello.
You are on live feed, babe.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I didn't know that.
Hi, Tina.
Hi. I miss you.
I miss you too. You can't. Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
I can't hear you, but I'm reading your lips slightly.
He said that you're like the worst.
I did say that.
You hurt my feelings.
I would never say that. I would never say that.
the only one I have.
He's tripling down. He's not. He says that if Steven died, he would still remain your friend so that you know that he loved you.
Thanks.
That's not the reason, though.
Loved me as much as Anthony.
That is his only reason, he says. No, I'm just kidding. He says that's not the reason, though. Are you getting the kids?
Yeah.
Go get them. Go get those tyrants so they can storm in here.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you too, bitch.
I just want to keep love you too, bitch. just nothing else. Like literally.
I mean, love you, bitch, love you. I mean, love you, bitch, and love you too, bitch is like the perfect.